So it looks like another Twitch meta has come and gone. But while everyone was focusing on what the heck were the creators thinking, why does nobody talk about the audience? Hello everyone, I'm Naxius. I'm a variety streamer over on Twitch. And you've probably heard over the last couple of weeks about a couple of high-profile streamers being banned for watching copyrighted content on Twitch. Obviously, the biggest one being Pokimane for watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Disguised Toast was recently banned, but according to some news sources, that actually was a fake ban he was using to try and get people to stop watching anime on stream. So I don't think I have to really get into why watching copyrighted content on stream was a bad thing and a bannable offense. It's kind of striking to everybody who's commented on it how many streamers were doing it, despite the dangers to their own careers and to the Twitch as a platform, just the overall health of streaming in general. Because doing things like this is what causes these sort of weird legislations to come in place where big companies are trying to stop any sort of restreaming or viewing of their product without, you paying for it. And especially something like anime, which is a lot of the animes are owned by Viacom, which are crazy apparently with enforcing their copyright. They'll hide under your bed to make sure you don't fart the theme to Avatar in your sleep, apparently. Like, these people hammer down whenever they catch even a whiff of people using their content, and yet people still felt it okay or safe to stream it while on Twitch. There's YouTubers and streamers who are in a much better place than me to describe exactly why this is a huge problem. Devin Nash has a fantastic video on the issues that watching this kind of content on Twitch can do to the platform and to the individual creators. I'll leave a link to that in the description. So if you're really interested in an in-depth, knowledgeable take on the whole thing, you can check out that video. So while, criticizing streamers is something I could definitely do, and I'm sure I could be hopping on the trend of, getting on their case like so many other people online have, I think we actually need to kind of focus more on why they were doing it in the first place. We all have heard of Twitch metas, right? Where there seems to be a current trend that is getting people tons and tons of views or eyeballs, or allowing for growth to happen on their channels. And so you've heard of like the hot tub meta when that was around, then the collab meta, especially around the time of Among Us. So there's been a sort of watch party meta that developed recently where streamers were watching anime or, for some reason, Gordon Ramsay specials like Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef. Apparently it's because they didn't get in a lot of trouble for doing it, so it's just kind of built from there. I've seen other people watching like TLC shows. A lot of people, including Devin Nash in the video that I just spoke of, really hate that people jumped on this trend because it's such lazy content. And I mean, like, it's hard to argue that. Unlike people who are trying to play games, be entertaining at the same time, and then having to, like, pick which games to play in order to maximize viewership, trying to focus on skill while also reading the chat. It's a complicated thing to do. So when a creator comes over and just says, I'm going to throw on a TV show and we're just going to watch it, and I'm just going to talk every once in a while. So that's no different than having just some people over to the house to hang out, really. So you can't look at that and say, oh, well, this is like complicated or big content, right? It's very lazy content. Again, let's focus on why people are doing it. And the simple reason they do it is because A, it's simple, but B, it gets views. And that's the crazy thing. I mean, even in my personal channel, like, I'm an extremely small YouTuber. My videos are still only averaging something like 10 views a video, right? But the laziest video I put out, which was a reaction video, has over 1,000 views. Like, we're talking like a 1,000% increase in the views that my videos get from something as lazy as a reaction video to a WoW cinematic. Right? Like, it was something I slapped together in 2 hours, and that gets 1,000 views, while things that I spend hours upon hours editing, filming, whatever, get, like, really small views. So it's easy to criticize these creators for creating lazy content like this, but, I mean, can you blame them? to get the amount of views that they get and they get the watch time that they're getting while having to put in very little to any effort, it's like a dream come true for some of these people, right? And I can get on my high horse and say, Jesus, guys, like, try to be creative. Don't just do whatever seems to be popular. But when a lot of people rely on Twitch for their income, or at least the people who've been banned recently, I mean, they get better income from it. So, But I think the thing that I want to focus on is simply why is it such popular content? Because if everyone in the creator sphere talks about how lazy the content is, why does it seem like that lazy content is consumed so much by viewers? And that goes for reaction content on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and everything, really. It's not just limited to Twitch. Reaction content's everywhere. The Fine Brothers made a whole goddamn career out of people just sitting at a camera and going, "Oh my god," when upon looking at something. So I think that while people are busy talking about streamers, let's look at it from the audience perspective. Why is this so popular in the first place? And I think I have a few reasons. Number one, there is some entertainment value. I know some people think, like, God, why would you want to watch reaction content? But there is a time and place for it. And there are times where I've even found myself watching some reaction content. Like, a big one for me was in 2019, just before the pandemic, the drummer for the band Rush, Neil Peart, passed away from cancer. And he was considered by many in the rock and roll sphere to be one of, if not the greatest rock drummers to ever set foot on the planet. So when he passed away, it became somewhat mainstream news. I mean, like, Rush as a band is not super famous, especially nowadays. They were much more popular in their heyday in, like, the 70s and 80s. But because it made news, there was a lot of people who suddenly were like, who's this Neil Peart guy? So you started seeing a little bit of uptick in reaction content of people reacting to Rush for the first time. And as somebody who counts Rush as probably his favorite band, it was so fun to watch people, young people especially, discovering Rush for the first time. And that can be so much fun, watching somebody enjoy something that you've enjoyed forever, and they get to experience it for the first time, something you yourself can no longer do. So I can't hate on reaction content because it can be fun. It can be cool and interesting to see how people react to different things. So the content itself does have merit, and I think we can't just gloss over that because these people were doing something kind of dumb. I think the second reason is also just because when a streamer is reacting to something live that you yourself have probably watched, there is a sort of awesome thing about streaming that you can interact with the people live. When I was watching that Rush reaction content, you can't really interact with the people. You can do it in the comments of the video. So there isn't a lot of back and forth. Sometimes you'll get creators who will comment, who will respond to your comments, but the video is done completely, without any input from the audience. So with Twitch, there is, I guess, this cool thing of you like, just so you know, the scene you just watched, here's something, an interesting little trivia piece about that. So that interactivity is there. And again, that's kind of like having your buddies over for, to watch the game or watch a TV show together. It's just, you get to have that back and forth, which something like YouTube doesn't allow. But I think reason number 3 is probably the biggest one. Guys, I think everyone's just kind of lonely. I mean, obviously, since this pandemic began, there's been a lot of people who have been feeling the effects of isolation. We do have, a bunch of people who are just stuck at home all the time with nothing to do, and they can't go see their friends, and depending on where you live, the lockdowns are more extensive. I myself just went into a severe lockdown. So imagine if I lived by myself, there would be this loneliness and this, inability to share anything with anybody. And I think that's kind of what's going on here, is that this Twitch meta is kind of filling that hole in. Because like I mentioned earlier, it's always cool watching people react to things that you love. And so just think back to like a movie you loved, but then you had like a friend or your parent or your spouse sit down and then watch that movie for the first time with you, and you get to see their reaction. And it's just so fun being in the room with them while they experience something that you've loved or enjoyed forever. And that is an awesome experience. But now we've gotten to the point where nobody can really do that in real life. For some people, this has been going on for months and months, where they're just, you can't have those relationships that we're so used to having. And I feel like Twitch is this watch meta was kind of just filling in that hole. People got to watch content they enjoyed with the community, because it's not just the streamer in that case. You're also watching it with the community that is in the channel as well. So in the end, I actually kind of feel bad that it's come to this where that content has to go away, because it's really filling in, I think, a void for these people. They want that social interaction. And some people have always said people are using Twitch wrong when they're using it for social interaction. And maybe they were kind of right, a couple of years back when you could go out and hang out with people in real life, but now you can't even do that. A lot of people do sometimes blame the audience when some stupid meta pops up, Just like when that hot tub meta was going strong, you could blame the streamers, but you really kind of had to blame the audience for watching it all and making the streamers do it, essentially. So the audience does take some heat, but this one, I think it's more just kind of sad that they kind of need this in a way, and for it to just be gone or have to go away because, it's way against the TOS of Twitch. I think we just need to remember that we have a bunch of people that, are lonely, are isolated, unable to share things they enjoy with people, and it was kind of nice, I think, for a little while, that void was being filled for them. So unlike other trends where I might say people are just watching lazy content and it's their fault that YouTube or Twitch or whatever has gone to crap because of what they're watching, I think in this one I'm going to give the poor audience a pass. Maybe that's being too nice and too generous. Maybe we should still, even if we're lonely, be pushing for creators to make better and more involved content. I can't really blame anybody for wanting that company right now. But I think that's all I really want to say. I wanted to say that in this particular case, I want to lay off on the audience a little bit, and I hope you guys do too. I know that you're going to have conflicting feelings about this, but my heart goes out to some of these people that are stuck, by themselves, and they just need the company. So for their sake, I'll just give them a pass. I do hope that they find that sort of ability to interact with people elsewhere while we still work our way through what's going on in the world right now. It's better for the platform if people stop watching this copyrighted content, but just have a bit of pity for the people that were using that as their social interaction. They had an outlet, and now that's gone in some ways. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. What do you think? Do you think that the audience should be more to blame for this? Do you feel like it was a big problem that they were using this for a social outlet? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As I said, I'm a streamer over on Twitch, so you can check out the link in the description below. And with that, you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Get off my lawn.